Hello and welcome to section 5 of our presentation, Do's and Don'ts as an F1 student. My name is David Savenfield and I'm an International Student Advisor here in the ISSO. In this section, we'll be talking a little bit about things that you should be doing every semester, every year, and things that you certainly should be avoiding as an F1 student. The first thing you should definitely do as an F1 international student is to receive reliable immigration advice, because ultimately you are personally responsible for maintaining your immigration status in the United States. And if you were to do anything to violate your immigration status, then it would be you that would face the consequences. 3 tips that we have. First, be sure to check your immigration documents regularly to ensure that they are accurate and up to date. Second, be sure to ask questions whenever you have them, especially if you are not sure if something is allowed or not. Then be sure to ask before doing anything that's uncertain. Immigration regulations are full of these gray areas, so we may not be able to always answer every question you have with 100% certainty, but we will do our best to provide reliable advice based on the best information we have at the time. Finally, please be sure to read all emails from ISSO. While some emails may be general reminders or information about social events, emails you can delete if you choose, others may be communicating important deadlines or some sort of action that you need to take. Be sure you read and acknowledge every email you receive from our office. And if you have any questions, please be sure to respond and follow up with us. When receiving immigration advice, only seek out reliable sources. Your best first point of contact would be our office. That's literally our job and what we are trained to do. Secondly, you may receive advice or accurate information from U.S. government agencies such as Department of State, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, Citizenship and Immigration Services, or Customs and Border Protection. On the other hand, places that are not reliable sources for immigration advice, first would be your friends, even if they are international students themselves. Everyone's situation can be different, and advice may depend on your country of citizenship, education level, major, college, or personal background. Secondly, faculty or academic advisors are excellent resources when seeking advice on your academic success and your plan for obtaining your degree from Iowa State. However, you should not seek immigration advice from them. While many have familiarity with the unique needs and requirements of international students, which is good, they are not usually trained on the nuance of international student regulations, and they are not qualified to give formal advice. Finally, and most importantly, do not trust what you read on the internet. So often we have had links shared with us as advisors where the anonymous person posting online is completely wrong or giving misleading advice. While the main sources of misinformation are usually sites like Reddit or Quora or places where you pose questions, this could also extend to media outlets, which may be incorrect in their reporting on international student news. Our first don't is kind of a simple one. Don't do anything that would violate your immigration status. Violating your immigration status could lead to immediate departure from the US and would likely impact your ability to complete your degree. Further, violations would certainly impact any work authorization that you have, be it on campus or off campus, as well as your eligibility for future work authorization, such as OPT. We'll look at a few of the common ways that a student might violate their immigration status. First, letting the program end date on their Form I-20 expire when they have not finished their program. Please be sure to keep a close eye on your I-20 program end date, and if you get to within a few months of that expiration date and you are certain that you will not finish your academic program in time, please be sure to request a program extension. Second, employment in the US is taken very seriously, so you must ensure that you always have the appropriate employment authorization. For on-campus employment, that means paying close attention to the amount of hours you are working and ensuring that you are not exceeding 20 hours per week during the fall or spring semester. For off-campus employment, that means ensuring that you request your work authorization early, well in advance of your planned start date, and that you receive your employment authorization before ever actually working for the off-campus employer. Similarly, if you plan to extend your work authorization with the same company, maybe like the extension of an internship, then you need to make sure that you have received your new authorization before your current one expires. Consequences of violating your immigration status can be severe. It is a difficult process to regain your valid immigration status. While ISSO will provide you with basic advice on your options in regaining this status, should a violation occur, the process can be costly, time-consuming, and may require working with an immigration attorney. Another thing that you must do every year you are in the United States is file a tax return. Anyone residing in the US must do this, even if they have only spent one calendar day in the US for that year. And that's regardless of if you have worked in the United States during that year or not. Please note, ISSO advisors are not tax professionals and we cannot directly help you file your taxes. However, our office understands that the US tax system is overly complicated, and that's even for US citizens, trust me. So we do provide students with some assistance during tax season. First, we provide students that are non-residents for tax purposes. So that's usually like most F1 students during the first 5 calendar years in the US, with access to a tax software called SprintTax. Filing your federal tax return is free of charge with your ISSO access code. However, there may be a separate fee for filing a state tax return. Due to recent changes in tax code, many non-residents have faced a tax bill in the spring when filing their previous year's taxes. So we would advise that you account for this possibility in your yearly budgeting and thoroughly review the ISSO Taxes resource page on our website for tax filing tips. When it comes to filing your yearly tax return, our email issotax@iastate.edu will send out an email sometime in February every year with more information about SprintTax and about filing your taxes for that year. Our fourth piece of advice: do not get arrested, receive a citation, or engage in any sort of criminal activity in the United States. Criminal activity may lead to visa revocation and, in certain cases, removal proceedings. For university students, a major concern can be alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco use. Please note that the legal age to purchase or use alcohol or tobacco is 21 years old. It is also illegal to purchase alcohol or tobacco for someone else who is under the age of 21. For marijuana, it is still considered an illegal drug by the federal government, even though it may be legal for recreational use in certain US states. As your non-immigrant visa status is granted by the federal government, we would not advise F1 students use marijuana even if you are present in a state where it is legal. Another area of concern can be driving or motor vehicle citations. US driving laws may differ from your home country, and they can even differ between US states. In the state of Iowa specifically, a speeding violation while driving is considered a misdemeanor, meaning that it may carry additional penalties. If you choose to drive while in the US, you must have a valid driver's license and valid vehicle insurance. Driving regulations are overseen by the Iowa Department of Transportation. Finally, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs is not only very dangerous for you and the people around you, but is also a very serious crime in the US. Arrest could negatively impact your immigration status or ability to remain or return to the US in the future. The cost of attendance at US universities is high. Please be sure to carefully manage your finances as a student. Here are a few tips that we have put together. First, the policies for charging tuition and fees may be different at different universities. At Iowa State, for any amount of credits you choose to enroll over the full-time requirement, you are not charged additional tuition. For undergraduate students, where 12 credits is considered full-time, this means you could enroll in 15 or 18 credits and be charged the same. For graduate students without an assistantship, where 9 credits is considered full-time, this means you could enroll in 12 or 15 credits and be charged the same amount of tuition. Thus, if you have the capacity in your schedule and academic ability to take on extra coursework, then you could look into enrolling in extra courses and perhaps saving yourself money in the long run with your enrollment and planning your degree. Managing your finances is especially important due to limited scholarship opportunities for international students. We encourage you to check the centralized one-app scholarship system regularly for potential opportunities you may be eligible for. ISSO has some scholarship opportunities available yearly, but funds are limited and preference is typically given to those nearing program completion. For students expecting to spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years in an academic program, you cannot rely on receiving an ISSO scholarship regularly to cover education expenses. Finally, health insurance is an important topic in the United States. Iowa State University requires all students in a non-immigrant visa status to have health insurance. Students are automatically enrolled, so there is no action that you need to take on your end. For students with a graduate assistantship, your hiring department will pay for single coverage. However, if you lose your GA position, then you will need to plan for health insurance as a significant expense. Different from many other countries, dental insurance is separate from health insurance. You will not be automatically enrolled in dental insurance, so you must choose whether or not you will add it to your coverage. We would encourage that you consider adding dental insurance, as dental procedures in the US can be expensive. For students with a dependent spouse or child, it cannot be recommended highly enough that you enroll your spouse and/or child in healthcare coverage. This is especially true if you or your spouse anticipate the possibility of having a child while you are in the US. Health insurance generally is a gamble. You may pay into it every year but not use it. Or you may require an unexpected procedure where your personal or family health insurance coverage saves you thousands of dollars. It is a known fact that medical procedures in the US can cost thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. As someone choosing to live in the United States, you need to plan for potential medical issues. University or ISSO funding will likely not be available to support medical bills. Our final piece of advice: do not fall victim to a scam. Scams are attempts from strangers to illegally receive money or personal information through deception, threats, and intimidation. It is an unfortunate reality that scams are on the rise worldwide, and international students can be specifically targeted. Common scam tactics include threatening the person with deportation or arrest, saying you must pay them in gift cards or other untraceable currency, or claiming to be from a government agency. If you're the victim of a scam, we would encourage you to report the scam to ISSO or the ISU or Ames police. A few tips on avoiding scams. First, beware of fake job postings. There has been an increase in job interviews or even job offers where the applicant doesn't even speak with a person. If the interview process is being completed only over chat or email, be careful about what personal information you are providing. Never give personal information such as a social security number or bank details over phone, email, or through an untrusted web link. Next, we recommend setting up voicemail on your phone and screening calls from unknown numbers. If it is an important call, they should leave a message. Finally, do not send payments without a receipt or paper trail. This would certainly include cash and gift cards, but even money sent via app transfers like Venmo or other providers can be difficult to recover if you later learn that it was a scam or went to the wrong person.